And I would like to introduce David Vienna, who is the writer of our current production of Watergate and Other Solid Gold Hits. And David has also written our last two fundraisers, My Generation and This Is Rock and Roll, the Alan Freed Story. Now, for those of you, most of you know that our fundraisers they make up a significant amount of our annual budget, the revenue that we get from our fundraisers. So they're a huge part of our program, and we are extremely lucky to be able to produce original work for the community, and that's something that the Little Theater prides itself on, is putting all this energy and time and resources into these fundraising productions, which are all original musicals, because that's something that was one of my first loves, is creating original theater. And please welcome David Vienna. He's coming up.
Redoing all this research on Alan Freed and what an important character he was in the formation of rock and roll. I mean, he coined the phrase, and he's the guy who broke the color barrier with all these artists. It's just I love stories like that that involve art, but also involve breaking down barriers.
So, talk about the challenges of creating any of the three. Let's talk about Watergate specifically.
Right.
When we approach the 70s, the challenges of creating something that is going to appeal to the widest demographic of people, but also be artistically satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, I am a firm believer that I love entertaining first, and then if there's education that comes along with it, or the art with a capital A, that's all the better. So when I'm approaching all the productions, what I do is I look at the big touchstones of the decade, the historic, whether it's artistically historic or politically historic or culturally historic. And then I also look at the hits of the era, and I'm a big music nerd, although not as big as you. You are a massive music nerd. And what's cool is you can see how the music that is a hit in 1973, it's a hit for a reason that might not be even reflected in the lyrics. So you look for those connections. So that for me, I mean, I guess to answer the question, for me, I'm more worried about entertaining. With a play like Watergate, and I think even My Generation and This Is Rock and Roll, the kind of historic lessons and things that come along with it are a bonus. So I don't necessarily set out to do anything other than entertain.
Has any thought ever been given, I'm just curious, to original music in Little Theater original production?
Has any thought been given?
I'm just curious. I mean, it's not like a recommendation or anything.
It always seems like a great idea in the middle of the night when I shoot up out of bed going, we should have our reality of it. There has been some thought to that, but it really goes back to the fundraising issue. These plays exist. No offense, he knows this, which is why he's such a good writer for it. These plays exist as a vehicle for the music. They are music delivery systems. And if we can make the music delivered in a way that is more entertaining, and with the bonus of a story, of an interesting story, or an interesting insight, or nostalgia into that era, then that's just a bonus.
Yeah. That's
a bonus, because our biggest job is making sure that these songs are presented in a way that make people feel good. With the addition, we're looking to move to a new space, we're looking to expand the theater, and with the addition of a new space and those resources, there will definitely be an original theater component to the Little Theater that we just don't have the resources for right now, because that's such a huge part of what theater should be about, especially community theater, because we have 35 people backstage right now here at 11:30 noon on a Saturday, wanting to give themselves over to the art. And if we can create original theater for them, really original theater, not jukebox musicals, even though I adore what's happening on stage right now, I love it, but a real original musical, that would be great for the community.
I just asked because I have like 10 original songs.
I know.